In a significant political development, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State on Tuesday night, leading to the suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy Ngozi Odu, and the State House of Assembly for an initial period of 6 months. This decision was attributed to the ongoing political crisis stemming from a feud between Governor Fubara and the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike, as well as the recent oil pipeline explosion in the state. The declaration has sparked controversy within the Nigerian Senate, notably Senators Iraq Dixon, Eyina Abaribe, and Aminu Tambuwal opposing the move, expressing concerns over its constitutionality and potential implications for democratic governance. Their dissents culminated in a dramatic walkout during the Senate session convened to ratify the President's declaration. Let's talk about the 3 senators who have opposed the ratification of the President's declaration of emergency rule in Rivers State. The first is Senator Siraki Dixon. Siraki Dixon, representing Bayelsa West Senatorial District, is a seasoned Nigerian politician with a rich background in law and public service. Born on January 28, 1966 in Toro, Orua, Bayelsa State. He pursued his education at Rivers State University of Science and Technology, earning a degree in law. Dixon's career began in law enforcement as a member of the Nigerian police force before transitioning into legal practice. His political journey commenced with his election to the Bayelsa State House of Assembly in 2005, where he has served as Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. In 2012, he was elected governor of Bayelsa State, serving 2 terms until 2020. Throughout his career, Dixon has been recognized for his advocacy on issues affecting the Niger Delta and his commitment to upholding democratic principles. Senator Eyina Abaribe is the second senator to kick against the declaration of emergency rule in Rivers State. Eyina Abaribe, born on March 1, 1955 in Aba, Abia State, is a prominent Nigerian politician known for his steadfastness and vocal stance on national issues. He holds a bachelor's and master's degree in economics from the University of Benin. Abaribe's political career began as Deputy Governor of Abia State from 1999 to 2003. Despite facing impeachment attempts, he remained resilient, eventually transitioning to the National Assembly since 2007. Abaribe has represented Abia South Senatorial District in the Senate. He served as the Senate Minority Leader from 2019 to 2022, during which he was known for his critical views on government policies and advocacy for the rule of law. He was one of the senators who kicked against the President's declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State. The third senator who kicked against the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State is Senator Aminu Tambuwal. Aminu Waziru Tambuwal, born on January 10, 1966, is in Tambuwal Village, Sokoto State. He is a distinguished Nigerian politician and legal practitioner. He obtained his law degree from Usman Danfodio University in Sokoto. Tambuwal's political career took off when he was elected to the House of Representatives in 2003, representing Kebe Tambuwal Federal Constituency. He gained prominence for his legislative acumen, culminating in his election as Speaker of the House of Representatives from 2011 to 2015. In 2015, Tambuwal was elected Governor of Sokoto State, serving 2 terms until 2023. His tenure was marked by efforts to improve education and infrastructure in the state. In 2023, he returned to the National Assembly as a senator representing Sokoto South Senatorial District. And now to the walkout session. During the Senate session to deliberate on the state of emergency in Rivers State, tensions escalated as Senators Dixon, Abaribe, and Tambuwal voiced their objections. They argued that the suspension of a democratically elected governor and legislative body set a dangerous precedent for Nigeria's democracy. Frustrated by the proceedings and the perceived disregard for the constitutional protocol, the 3 senators staged a walkout in protest. This act underscored the deep divisions within the legislative arm regarding the President's decision. And now, what are the implications? The declaration of the state of emergency in Rivers State and the subsequent Senate walkout have sparked widespread debate across Nigeria. Civil society organizations and opposition parties have criticized the move, calling for its immediate reversal and cautioning against undermining democratic institutions. Supporters of the declaration argue that it is a necessary step to restore order and address security concerns in the state. The situation remains fluid, with legal challenges anticipated and the potential for a significant political ramification in the coming months. The event surrounding the state of emergency in Rivers State highlights the complexities and challenges within the Nigerian political landscape. The actions of the Senators Dixon, Abaribe and Tambuwal reflect a commitment to democratic principles and the rule of law, emphasizing the need for careful consideration and adherence to constitutional provisions in addressing the state's crisis. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. See you later. It's really unprecedented. I mean, if this happened during Obasanjo's period, someone could say Obasanjo is a military person. He hasn't really been a civilian in terms of governing the country. But this is kind of different. This man, I'm talking about Tinubu, has never been a military man. He never served under military, even though if you look at his antecedents, he fought the military in fact. He fought every damn thing. In fact, there isn't any government in the last dispensation that he didn't fight, including this democracy that we got into since 1999. He fought Obasanjo, he fought Yar'Adua, he fought Goodluck Jonathan. In fact, he almost fought Buhari. He was very careful not to fight Buhari because he knew that he wanted power from Buhari. He wanted his turn, Milocon and all of those things. Anyway, this is not the essence of this particular video. The essence of this video is to tell you that Fubara finally has been found. People were asking, where is he located? Where is he? Where is Fubara? Where the heck is Fubara? Did he travel out of the country? Did he go hiding? Apparently, the suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, along with his family, has reportedly relocated to Bayelsa State's government house following a declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. The move comes in the wake of a turbulent political crisis that escalated power struggles within the state, which prompted President Bola Tinubu to take decisive action. On March 18, 2025, President Tinubu suspended Fubara, his deputy Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the Rivers State House of Assembly for a period of 6 months, citing the need to restore stability in the region. The suspension follows a prolonged political crisis, primarily fueled by a bitter feud between Fubara and his predecessor Nyesom Wike. These conflicts have resulted in violent clashes, governance gridlock, and a series of legal battles that have significantly destabilized the state's political environment. According to sources close to the situation, Bayelsa State Governor Diodiri has stepped in to offer refuge to Fubara and his family during this period of unrest. The relocation is believed to have been facilitated by the governor of Bayelsa State, who is reportedly housing Fubara and his relatives within the Bayelsa State government house. The relocation occurred on Wednesday morning, with Fubara and his family leaving the Rivers State government house in Port Harcourt. Security forces at the government building have been reduced, though a few armored personnel carriers, APCs, and a small security presence remain at the premises. Sources also confirmed that the government house was relatively quiet, with only a handful of security operatives stationed on sites. In an effort to restore order, President Tinubu appointed former Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Ibokete Ibas as the administrator for Rivers State. Ibas will oversee the state's affairs during the 6 months emergency period, which is aimed at resolving the ongoing political unrest caused by the deepening conflict between the governor and lawmakers. So there's a whole lot around this. What can I say? Now, he is now there. It's no longer news that the National Assembly had ratified what the president have done. So it is official. Rivers State is under military rule. The current sole administrator, Ibas, did his inaugural speech and stated clearly that he is one of Rivers State people. He's a Niger Deltan, and he's going to work for the peace and growth and development of the state of Rivers. So it goes. So there have been so many questions. So many persons have been reading meaning to so many things, in fact. It's quite shocking that other governors from the north haven't really spoken out loud, especially from the APC, because again, like it or leave it, if you don't speak about this now, who knows who's going to be next? And somehow it also puts some sort of precedence, because in the last time we've ever had emergencies, in this democracy, the governors were not sacked. The governors were not removed. We just had a deployment of military. We've had that in the southeast. We've had that in the south. In fact, we've had that in the northeast. The governors were not removed. This is the very first time the governor of Rivers State has been removed because of a state of emergency. So a whole lot of persons have been speaking, talking about this. But I want you to open your mind to this. I know I'm not the conventional type who will go with everything that everybody says or people say. I want you to open your mind and simmer this properly. So we've had people who argue that the president is siding Wike, which of course is okay to think that way, because again, why would you want to remove a governor? Why would you want to destabilize a state, removing an actively democratically elected government? Yes, you're right to think through that. But why do you also think that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot lobby Siminalayi Fubara to join the APC? Do you really think that President Tinubu likes that Nyesom Wike is going about this thing in the way and manner that he has gone about it for a long time? There were several meetings. What happened? There were several meetings in Aso Rock where they were asked to go and settle. There were in fact some purported agreements, even though some persons will come and say there was nothing like that. Red Biro, Blue Biro came out. But why do you think that the president of Nigeria cannot lobby a Fubara to join his rank? Why do you think so? Or go into a deal, given that he wants to, Fubara would also love to outwit Wike in this whole mess. What do you think that Wike is giving Tinubu that Fubara cannot give him in Rivers? Think about it. Now, I want you to open your mind. I've also, some people would also say, come on, they have made statements. The AGF have said that the blame is on the governor. The presidencies have said the blame is on the governor. The governor should have done that, should have done that. They bombed the pipeline and then he didn't do anything. He didn't make any statement. He didn't condemn them, all of those things. So it feels like the governor is in bed with those who are the non-state actors bombing the pipeline, right? I mean, it's okay to think along those lines because after all, that's what they said. But think again, what if the president somehow is saving Fubara? Yes, the impeachment was already in play. The 27 House of Assembly members had already notified him of impeachment. And God help me, there wasn't going to be any way that they were going to say no to that particular impeachment. Yes, the House of Reps members, the State House of Assembly members were already going to impeach him. Yes, you may have thought that, there's an issue with the chief judge appointed by the governor. The chief judge wouldn't have agreed. Trust me, even if the chief judge doesn't assent to that, do you know that the law also required them to go ahead with the impeachment process, even without the chief judge signing off? Do you know that? No, but I'm telling you, this is the Constitution. Just like it is with the National Assembly. The National Assembly makes a law, sends it to the president. If the president refuses to assent for a stipulated period of time, and no communications about that, do you know that passes on to become an active law in Nigeria? Yes, because what has happened is that thing has gone through the process. The law sees that every single representative in the Senate, in the House of Reps, represents 8 people, and the people through them have agreed that this thing becomes a law in Nigeria. So one person's accent cannot stop it. One person's accent, president's accent cannot stop it. So if after a stipulated period of time, say, I think it's 90 days or so, the president still refuses to accent, that thing becomes a law automatically. So the same thing with Rivers State. If the chief, because the chief judge would probably be thinking he might escape, he might not sign, he might run away, or he might keep it for a long time. Trust me, the House of Reps, the State House of Assembly members would have gone on, to impeach him even without the chief judge or appointed by the governor, because they've all agreed, and there are 27 of them. There's no brainer. So what if Tinubu stopped his impeachment by asking him to go, by suspending him? These are politics. I know sometimes the way a normal human being thinks is not the way these politicians think. There is still a card to be played, and that card is not even known by Wike, who thinks he's in bed with Tinubu, or Fubara, who thinks, well, I've done something, at least I've ruffled feathers. Do you know what this has just played out? It will make, if Fubara had not gone to speak to the powers that be about going to APC, it will make him start thinking that way, even if it means doing deals. And that doing deal may be, okay, joining APC to show that you are loyal, because again, this time around, you can't really trust anybody. So you have to show that you are with them. And what do you stand to lose, really? Power. You want to gain power, want to stay in power, want to stay relevant. What is wrong? Fubara might decide, you know what, I'm going over to APC, and then the table turns against Wike. And when the table turns, if Fubara goes to APC, there's nothing anymore that Wike can give to him that Fubara cannot give to him. That's the truth. There's nothing anymore. And now look at everything that has happened, the anger this has brought, the feud this has brought. Imagine this anger remains like this. It stays up until 2027. Come on. I mean, the thing is already boiling, and it's going to boil over if these things are not hatched out. And the only way out, the presidency is also looking at the people, the reaction of the people within the state. There's a way he would stick to the plan and then lose the entire Niger Delta. And there's a way he would go about it and then win the entire Niger Delta. I'm telling you, if he sees that sacrificing a Wike would make him gain Niger Delta, you think he will not do it? The entire Niger Delta governors have come out to release a statement. I hope you saw that particular statement, saying that they don't. I mean, they don't buy into this statement of emergency rule by removing the governor. They don't. It's alien. It hasn't happened before under this democratic dispensation. So if the entire Niger Delta, including the southeast, south, and maybe parts of southwest, sees that this is crazy, and it looks like the president is siding with Wike, and Wike just only have Rivers to deliver. Okay, what if you gain Rivers and lose other states? Are you not thinking about it too? You have Imo, you have Enugu, you have Edo, you have, because I mean, you need to feel the pulse of the people to know what's going on. People are terribly angry that how on earth would Tinubu be sacrificing the peace of the entire Niger Delta because of Wike? What is Wike giving? What exactly is Wike giving him? Wike is at his mercy. It's one letter, Wike is gone. So by the time he sees it, I don't know who is playing the cards at the presidential level, because it's me thinking that somebody has thought ahead and said, let's do it this way, let's save Fubara, because there's no way Fubara would have been saved from that impeachment. There's no way. It's not possible. If the Attorney General of the state refuses to sign or assent, they might come with different ways. Presidency can threaten. I mean, there are different things that can be done, but there was no way Fubara would have been saved from impeachment. So for me, I have my opinion. I think you also need to drop your thoughts if you think you disagree with me. Let me know what you think about this. I believe the president saved Fubara by announcing the suspension, so that there will be space for negotiations. Fubara gets back. Something must have happened between then and 6 months' time, and then the table would be turned against Wiki. And when if the table is turned against Wiki and the world sees that it's turned against Wiki, Tinubu now becomes a messiah, and then the Niger Delta would most likely give him the votes that he requires in 2027. My thinking, I might be wrong, but trust me, I want you to talk to me on the comment section. I would love to, speak on this matter with, or even argue it out. You never can tell. Politics is, see, these guys think ahead of us every time. Every single time they think ahead of us. So I wouldn't think that this is not possible in politics. So that's my thinking.